Hello and welcome. I am Bharat Sharma, an intern at the Spark Foundation from the batch of January 2021, and this is my task for exploratory data analysis for terrorism in data science and business analytics. Here we have worldwide comparison for number of incidents reported. As we can see, Iraq is at the top for overall events, and here with this pie chart show the number of percentage of the events which were terrorist or non-terrorist or not known. Not known is that means that we don't know that either that was a terrorist attack or not, or was a non-terrorist attack. Then we have this pie chart showing that that incident was related to any other incident or not. And here we can clearly see that the 99.70% incidents were organized by an individual. So here we can see that for terrorism, Iraq is at the top. For overall, Iraq is at the top. For multiple incidents and which were related to terrorism, Iraq is at the top. Then we have Afghanistan, Ukraine, Philippines, Somalia, and so on. And for not known events, we have Colombia at the top, then we have India. For individual incidents related to terrorists, we have Iraq at the top, then we have Pakistan, Afghanistan, and so on. And here we have this animation to show the ranking of countries for total number of incidents reported by that year. Here Colombia is at the top, then we have India, and so on. As time passes, we see that in Iraq a number of incidents started to rise from 1990, and now in number of incidents in Iraq are rising at much higher pace as compared to other countries. Now for same thing, we have this world map to show the same thing, and before 2000 focus on these areas, and after 2000 focus on these areas, because after 2000 in Middle East and in the North Africa number of cases rose at a higher pace as compared to this region. Actually this region did something, or whatever happened, they had very less number of cases reported there. So here we have hotspot countries: Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Egypt, Libya, Nigeria, India, Philippines, so on. This is our Middle East, then this is our North Africa. Now blue line is for incidents, red for kills, and brown is for wounded people. Here we can see that number of kills and number of wounded people is directly proportional to the number of incidents, and we have a bit exception here only, else we can see spikes in all three: here, 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 and here, and also here. And we can see that the terrorism or these incidents were at this peak in year 2014. Here we have region. We can see that all three criteria were equally responsible for all the incidents happen in all the regions, and from this value we can see that they had negligible difference. And again we have Middle East and North Africa at the top, and out of all the incidents 89% was had success, and out of which 3.06% were suicidal case. Now we have region versus duration. Duration is in the number of the days. So here we can see that we already know that the Middle East and North Africa had many number of incidents as compared to South America. Even Middle East and North America is at the top as compared to other region. But here we can see that South America is at the top for duration. So this shows that the incidents happen in South America went for many days. That is, their duration was much higher than other incidents happen in Middle East and North Africa. Now, for terrorist attack, we can see that out of all of them, 84.03% didn't have any other type of attack, but 12.88% have insurgency, and after that we have other crime type and intra group conflicts after that. Their main target were private citizens and property, military, police, government, business. Private citizens and property are at the top, and out of all of them, if we can see that 93.87% incidents didn't have any second type of target. If they had any second type of target, then we can see for those 99.35% didn't have any third target. Here we have timeline versus region. We can see that this is our Middle East and North Africa. We can see the number of cases started to rise from 2004, and we have peak at 2014. We have a bit peak here at this 1992. Then for South Asia, we have similar character. For Sub-Saharan Africa, also we also have similar characteristics of the line. For Southeast Asia, almost similar, but here we have more peaks. Now we have this South America. It has different characteristics, and here we can see they have maximum number of cases reported from 1978 to 1994. Then we have a peak in 1997. Now we have North America. Here we can see that in 1970 they had maximum number of cases reported, and they really did a great job in terms of security against these terrorism attacks and other attacks. Therefore, they are at here as compared to other regions. For attack types, here we can see that these are our main attacks, out of which, if we see that not having any other second and not having second type of attack, bombing and explosion were their main attack, which is 49.08% attack. If they had and after that in cases incidents or involving bombing and explosion and armed assault were 54.54%. And for armed assault, out of all which didn't have any other type of attack, they were 23.34%. But with armed assault, if they had any other type of attack, that was 63.847% only for hostage taking, kidnapping. And if they have three type of attacks in which main attack were these, and for third attack we can see that for unarmed assault, hostage taking in barricade incidents, all unarmed assault belongs to hostage taking in barricade incidents. For corporation nationality at which attack happened, we can see from 2000 to 2017 Iraq is at the top, then Pakistan, then Afghanistan, then India. But if we see same thing from 1972 to 2000, we see that Colombia is at the top. So it is quite obvious. We already saw that the number of cases started to rise from 2000 in Iraq, or we can say in the Middle East. So it is a quite obvious observation here. Here we have Iraq at the top. even for overall Iraq is at the top. So we can see that number of incidents rose at very much higher pace in this region. Then we have gang and claiming. These are top 10 from 1972 to 2017. Out of all incidents, Taliban was mostly involved, most involved in all incidents, and even here from 2000 to 2007, Taliban is still at the top. So it shows that the terrorism is spreading in the Middle East and the North Africa is because of these groups, because number of incidents increase or went high in those regions were belonging to this timeline. And also, and why I'm saying this, because look at this now. From 1972 to 2000, Taliban is not here, and this is showing the number of claiming. Then competitive claiming, that is if more than one group claimed for any attack. And from the whole data set we can see that Taliban is by using weapon type of firearms, Taliban is at the top. For explosive, Taliban is at the second, but Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant is at the top. I already told about individual and not an individual incident. We can also see all other gangs responsible. Al-Shabaab is also highlighted for many incidents. Casualty and internationality. As we internationality involvement, that is if there is any international involvement, this is specifically for attacker or hijacker. As we can see, out of all incidents, 20.65% were incidents where it was belonging to any international. That means attacker or the hijacker was from the different country. And out of all of them, we have 12.5% which had any international ideology, that is they were inspired by any religion or any story. And logistically involved in events were 3.96%, internationally logistically involved events. And this international miscellaneous shows that that attacker or hijacker was from the any other country, but the exact motive was not known. That is it was internationally logistically event, or it was internationally ideology event. So here we have ransom, here damage to property and number of events, and casualties, total casualties, casualty of terrorist and casualty of US citizens. So again I would divide my data into two timeline, 1972 to 2000. We can see there were many incidents where no ransom was demanded, but there are 4,448 incidents where hostages were taken. International ideology, yes, 859 incidents were there where hostages were taken. And here we have casualties. Now where no ransom demanded, we can see where no ransom were demanded, there were 24.9% international cases, and out of which 3,730 cases hostages were taken. Here we have property damage, for different cases. Here, country of kidnapping or hijacking, if in incident they had any type of hijacking or kidnapping, and country that kidnapper hijacker diverted to. Here we have this. So as we can see, kidnapping and hijacking maximum cases were reported in Colombia, and there is no other country that is kidnapper and hijacker diverted didn't go anywhere other than Colombia. That is, the hijacker or kidnapper didn't cross the border. For India, India to India, Peru to Peru, no, for Philippines to Philippines, but for Pakistan, Pakistan to Afghanistan. Maximum cases, maximum times the kidnapper or hijacker diverted to didn't cross the border, but for few times they crossed the border. For Mexico, from Mexico to Mexico, Brazil, no. Then we have Afghanistan. From Afghanistan to Pakistan, from Afghanistan and Pakistan, Colombia to Colombia. People diverted to Colombia, or I should say kidnapper or hijacker diverted to Colombia from these two. And this is for unknown, where we don't know from where they came. Nigeria, in paper, kidnapper hijacker diverted to Nigeria, from Nigeria to Cameroon. Nepal we already saw. Pakistan to Pakistan. Syria, Spain to Spain. Thank you for your patience.